If you're passionate about change and love a good laugh, then you need to join Chuck and Joe. Chuck and Joe are a dynamic husband and wife duo, tackling the biggest issues across the nation and around the globe. With a blend of wit and wisdom, they dive deep into current events, giving you the lowdown with a side of humor. They're not just talking heads, they're your fellow freedom fighters, committed to sparking meaningful conversations. From politics to social justice, no topic is off limits. So hit that subscribe button and join the freedom fighter community today. Let's laugh, learn, and fight for a better world together. Welcome to the Freedom Fighters podcast, where serious meets funny, just like Chuck and Joe.
Hi, this is Joe and Chuck and the Freedom Podcast. Freedom Fighters, today we're going to discuss news in Freedom Land and update on some critical issues. I would like to encourage you, if you liked my last video, please hit the like or subscribe button. I don't want to push this the entire video, so I'm going to ask at the beginning. If you like this video or you like the last one, please join us. And if you want to join in my STV movement, let me know. I'll discuss that more at the end. I'd like to start out talking to everyone, and I mean talking about Virginia. We all know that Virginia voted in Democrats. They ousted the Republicans and they have Democrats. Now they're seeing total chaos. And you ask why? Well, if you've watched anything, you're getting a little bit of the picture from the news. Just want to know what happened in Virginia. They told the voters that they were all about, and I quote, affordability. They campaigned on this, yet this is what's happened, folks, and you're not even going to believe this. They have added on, in Virginia, 50 new taxes, the most ridiculous taxes I've ever heard, but I'm going to read some of them to you. 1, additional local sales tax. 2, new personal property tax. That means, if you don't understand, to my understanding, that you can be taxed on leaf blowers, mowers, any kind of landscaping equipment. Have you heard anything so ridiculous? I don't even understand it or begin to understand how that would work. Do they just tax you when you buy it along with your sales tax? Or do they tax you every time that you use it? Do they have a little tax man that runs around? You're using an electric mower. I'm going to write you a ticket. How does that exactly work? I would just love to know this. Or better yet, are our politicians running around in Virginia and writing it down? Because we all know this is about money. And they wanted affordability. The next tax is gun and ammunition tax, a large employer tax, new income tax bracket, whatever that means, a new income tax bracket. If the old one wasn't big enough, we got to widen it. We got to do something to it. So we're going to have a new bracket. Haven't found out what that's about yet. We're having a delivery tax, and you folks are going to love this one. Pretty sure that we all shop online. I know I do. Well, in Virginia, they're getting hit with a delivery tax, and that would be from like Amazon, Walmart.com, Amazon.com, like I just said, FedEx, Uber Eats, DoorDash. If you use any of those, you're going to be hit with an extra tax on top of the taxes that you're already getting hit with from the food, on top of the ride that you're going to get hit with. That's also going to come up. I'm not sure what they're taxing. Better yet, I'm not sure what they're not taxing. I mean, the next thing you know, we're going to be going to the bathroom and they're going to be monitoring our toilet paper. Wait, that's called socialism, isn't it? Could it be? Next, we move on. They have an event and concert tax. So if you enjoy going to concerts, you enjoy going to any special event, guess what? You're getting taxed. And again, I'm not sure how that works. Maybe you sit down at a campaign fundraiser for Democrats and I don't know, instead of all the good gifts you get, the Democrats are going to give back to the community. How about that? Maybe that's an event tax. I have no idea. Why don't we ask some Democrats? Why don't you write in, Democrats, or come on this podcast, explain to us exactly what that means. Next, we have an investment income tax. Nice. As if they don't invest in enough things, like they're not investing in houses all over the U.S. because they'd rather that young people rent instead of own. Storage facility tax. That's another one, huh? I'm not quite sure how you do that either, because you're already taxed at the beginning, right? Somebody needs to explain these things to me. I'm evidently a little bit slow. Then we have the gym membership tax. Now listen, that's a reason for me not to go to the gym. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like working out. So my new excuse is going to be, I can't go, honey, because, well, there's a tax involved. Right, Chuck? So next, it just gets more ridiculous, everyone. You're not even going to believe this. dog walking tax. So if you're in the dog walking business in Virginia, you're in trouble. I don't know, when you take your dogs out, each and every pee that they take, oops, did I say that? You might have to pay a tax for. Watch those dogs. Watch those dogs. Get them in an area where you can cover it up quickly. The next one's a dog grooming tax. So you take them out, they do their thing, you get taxed for that. You take them back home, you wash them, whatever, you take them to the groomer and boom, hit with another tax. Better love those animals. Next, you're going to get a counseling tax. The way I see it, this counseling tax is for all these taxes. You're going to have to go to counseling just because you're so confused over what you're being taxed on and what you're not, including sitting there in the chair telling this person about what you need to be counseled on and then charged for extra. Then we have a digital personal property tax. No idea what that means. None. New car tax and heavy use fee. You have a heavy use fee, folks. So if you drive too much now, if you're an Uber driver, watch out. I told you they weren't just going to tax your foods. They're going to tax how far you go in your car and tax your vehicle. How is this even legal? How? They're going to put an increase in the hotel taxes too in the Arlington area in Virginia. They've already got a tax, but they're increasing it. Go figure, right? They are going to have a dry cleaner tax. So you not only are getting taxed on everything around you, now your clothes. I'm sure we're getting close to that toilet paper tax, everybody. I feel it coming. You know, they're now doing our clothes. This isn't a tax, but they're also doing this. Speed camera fine is going to be increased. You know, those cameras they have up all over? Well, they're not just monitoring. I'm so sorry. I have trouble with that word. They're not just watching us drive. They're watching everything we do. You know, they're on every corner already. It's supposed to be for crime. Now it's for speed. Be careful, folks. It's looking more and more like England. More like the European Union's thoughts. Be careful here. Next, a home repair tax. Well, we couldn't forget the home. Since we're taxing everything out of our home, we're going to tax stuff at our home. It's not bad enough that you're getting taxed for the electric mower that you're using. Now you're getting a home tax on top of your electric tax, on top of your car tax, on top of your clothing tax. My gosh, you are going to need counseling. It's another tax. Moving on. You have not only a charge on your car, you have a vehicle repair tax. And there are about 30 others. Picked out some that I thought were funny. Joel from True Life News also had some on today, and some of these things I did take from his podcast. And I encourage you, not getting anything for promoting this, but Joel at True Life News, he's wonderful. If you've never had a chance to watch him, I encourage you to do so. Now, I'd like to move on. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other things around the country. The last thing that people need to be focused on right now is hurting one another, or if we're going to go away from that realm of things, worried about taxes or increases of product, right? Or how about fraud? Let's go there. Nick Shirley, if you're not familiar with Nick Shirley, is a young man who went to Minnesota. Well, actually, I think he's from Minnesota. May not be, but I think he is. Anyway, he went door to door and found out, as I'm sure you know, that the Somalians and most of the government, as far as I see in Minnesota, are scamming the taxpayers, scamming America, because they're getting federal dollars also. For that matter, they're scamming the government. But Nick Shirley went in, did an investigation, this young man, and he has a friend that helps him. And if you go to Nick Shirley, you will see the things that I'm talking about. He just has a list of things that the Somalians are into and doing wrong. I'm not going to get into all that. But what does bother me is now he's finding more in healthcare fraud. Healthcare, everyone. If it's not bad enough that they're scamming us with daycare, now it's healthcare. And let's face it, that is an endless topic that we could get into. And we know our elderly are so often taken advantage of anyway. We have to worry about insurances, insurance cost, insurance adjusters, and insurance people that come and tell us what we're covered for. We pay more and more and more, and you're probably wondering why this keeps going up. Well, here's a good example of why. Nick went to one building, just one building. He wanted to see if these healthcare businesses actually existed. When he got there, lo and behold, there was one business for all 22, and that wasn't even open. So 22 different rooms, what have you. I don't know what was on the other side of the door. We could only see in the room from what Nick showed us on TV. And looking up in there, didn't look like there was anything. No people, There's nobody in the cars outside. So Nick went in, actually knocked on the door, found one person that was in there. Somalian answered the door. He tried to ask him questions. It was shut in his face. Every door he knocked on, no one was there. Or if they were there, lights out. They didn't respond. 22. And according to him, there are billions and billions, well, I should say millions and millions of dollars at this point, but billions and billions when you put it all together that are being stolen out of the healthcare business. That's just one little sample that I wanted you to know, wanted you to look into. Nick Shirley is a young guy, very charming. And I feel like what he's doing represents the youth of America right now and how much they care about America doing the right thing. Minnesota has a great person with Nick Shirley out there. And if you want to understand what's going on out there with the feet, not by a reporter, but by one of us, Nick's the guy to watch. I encourage you to do so. Nick says that what they're doing, this is just some of it. There's a very long list, but he says that they're falsifying documents that are admitted to the state of Minnesota for services never provided. Evidently, forms are being signed in advance of service. So you get together with numerous Somalians. They all sign these papers. And they're not only for visits they're supposed to have now, but also visits in the future. Okay. All this gets sent into the state. The state then pays out of pocket for these things, and no one ever attends anything. There's no appointments. They don't go, but they get all the money. No one ever goes from the government to check on this. Now, it's bad enough, folks, that we're getting scammed by the government giving them our tax dollars, American citizens' tax dollars, but they're not even checking. There is no one that goes out to confirm that these businesses exist or that these businesses even render any kind of service. None. So I encourage you to follow Nick. He has opened my eyes a lot, and I understand a lot more about Somalians now. And as you know, Somalian communities, they're really close. So no one wants to speak out, especially because they have Sharia law. And if you're familiar with that, if I'm pronouncing it right, you get in a lot of trouble for talking when you're not supposed to. We'll just put it that way. It's very bad. They want that law here. And if you're an American, trust me, you don't ever want that here. So right now, he's looking at about $30 million in fraud that's taking place. And that's on the low end of the number, according to Mr. Shirley, of the fraud that is occurring just in those 22 businesses. So I encourage you to check into that, folks, so that you can know what is going on and actually see from someone's feet on the ground what's happening. Turning around the nation, I want to talk about a new Assistant Attorney General. I want to welcome aboard Colin McDonald. Colin is an Attorney General now for the National Fraud Enforcement Agency. We welcome him, and he is serving as the first ever Assistant Attorney General for the National Fraud Enforcement Group. We want to welcome him. We need you. Colin, we hope that you're going to get out there, that you're going to find the fraud, not just in the Somalian community, but in any community that it's happening by any group of people. It's not fair. It's not fair to the ones that work. We pay taxes in. And it makes us not want to pay our taxes, which I personally feel paying taxes is illegal anyway. That's a whole nother story. But here we are paying them, and all our tax dollars, everyone, are going to fraudsters. And that even includes the Democratic Party. And I'm sorry to say, this is not the party that we used to know. They are not about affordability. They are not about the people. They are about the elite. They criticize Trump all the time. But if you paid attention, really paid attention to what's going on, the Democratic Party is pretty much broke. They don't really have a leader. And yet Schumer keeps stepping in, thinking he's still running it. Well, he's not. It's more like AOC, someone from her generation. I would say even Fetterman would be better than Chuck Schumer. At least the senator from Pennsylvania, Senator Fetterman, he is at least got common sense. And I find myself voting Republican. Yes, I'm a MAGA, and I'm going to admit that to you all. But I'm going to say this. I am not what they make us MAGA people out to be either. We also are being targeted by the Democratic Party. It's sad. You want to talk groups of people? The Dems are on the wrong side, guys. They want socialism and communism, and it's time that we pay attention because our country's getting taken over. If we as Americans don't step up and do something, stop ignoring what's going around or what's going on. We need to get out there. We need to do something. That's why I'm doing this podcast. I want to spread the news as far and wide as I can. And I hope that you'll promote this and send it out. This isn't about clicks for me. This isn't about money. This is about a love for my country, my love for the American people, and my love for people worldwide. That we can't help other nations if we can't help ourselves. And folks, if we get into socialism, we won't be helping anybody. We're going to be a third world country. And if you just look at Virginia and what's going on in Virginia, I mean, I want you, all the freedom fighters, I want you to pay attention and look at Virginia. I want you to check into it. If you see what Virginia is doing, that is what they have planned for the entire nation if they get back into power. Better start thinking about that. Just better. We have grandchildren, great-grandchildren that have to grow up here. Is this the kind of environment you want them growing up in? I'm so proud of the generation that is not afraid to stand up for what they believe. A young generation. The generation I see admitting that they're Christians. I see admitting they want to be good fathers. I see the women wanting to be mothers and have children. If you want to have a career, that's up to you, and that's fine too. But remember, our children are the most important thing in our lives. And if you don't bring them up right and teach them right, they're going to end up in a world that God never intended for us to be in. And I don't care what religion you're from, whatever your higher spiritual power is, what the Dems are doing can't be right. It can't be. There is no common sense to it. And as I started to say a moment ago, I'm going to bring this around for you. Yes, I vote Republican, but I see these old GOPs, these rhinos. They need voted out too. We have a senator in Indiana, Todd Young, who is voting against the president also. I found out the other day that he's involved with a group that is involved with George Soros. If you know anything about George Soros, you know that he encourages violence. He encourages anything against the United States of America. He is not a good man. I don't have to say it. It's been said many times, but I am going to repeat it. He's not a good man. Todd Young, I'm talking to you directly. Stop. We elected you in Indiana. We're going to put you out in Indiana. You want to be an old GOP and just get in there for the money? Well, your time is limited and we're watching you. Sorry, everyone. Had to make that sidetrack. Have to get on my own state's problems too once in a while. Okay, so let's move on and let's talk about Minnesota some more. Okay, I want you to know today 10 individuals were arrested in Minnesota, people that were agitating and assaulting police officers. I'm glad to see this. Tim Waltz made an agreement with President Trump. I was shocked, but I am glad. I was to the point of where I wanted the President of the United States to send in the Marines, the military, to crack down because the left is absolutely getting ridiculous. Not only are they getting injured, shot, and hurt, they're doing stuff to us that is uncalled for. Not to mention, everyone knows you do not assault a police officer. It's ridiculous. We're taught that from the time we are little. I wouldn't say the police are our friends, but I wouldn't say they're our enemies either. They have a tough job. They have to protect us, protect themselves, be nice in the community, yet be tough. And let's face it, that's a hard line to follow. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, year after year. It's difficult. These ICE agents are out there doing what they're told to do. They do not make the laws. They enforce the laws. They are doing their jobs just like us. They do not deserve to be beat on, hit on, or hurt. Come on, America. What is going on? This generation that's causing all this trouble, talk to me. I want to know what is going on. Why exactly that you're so angry at the world and so angry with America? These things are just common sense. Just common sense. And you adults turning your heads, thinking someone else is going to handle it. Well, we're to the point where there's very few of us left to fight for what our country stood for in the beginning. Trump is fighting an entire world, and that can be easy. Let's face it. They started this after World War II, and I mean our government. They started planning in the 60s and 70s this one world order. I used to hear about it when I was a little girl. Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink. Sorry, once in a while I have to drink too. Talk too much, you get too much air in there. Anyway, when I was a little girl, I remember going to church and I remember hearing from my pastor about this one world order. I remember being so scared about the 666 symbol and what, was coming in the future. But I was little and I thought, oh, that's never going to happen. It can't happen. And we would see where they were to put numbers on us to get groceries and stuff, and I thought that's ridiculous. The most idiotic thing I've ever heard. It was so made up to me that I couldn't understand how they were even putting Jesus or God into this. Well, now that I'm older, guess what? Everything I learned when I was a little girl is coming true. And I can't sit here and expect everyone else to change it. It's up to every one of us, to stand for what we want. Because it's coming, everyone. They're going to have to make a choice. And I want to show you an example of what I mean here. A couple of them, actually. In New York City, let me get over here to my notes. In New York City, they're holding up signs. Kristi Noem will hang. How stupid is that? Kristi Noem will hang. They're calling for lynchings. This is America. What is going on? Another example. Ventura. This is just how ridiculous things are. Is calling for Minnesota to secede from the Union. He wants to be a Canadian. Where are these thoughts coming from? You have Canadian people that are wanting to secede from Canada to be in the United States. Why do we not see what we have? All these people that run around thinking that socialism and communism are so great. Well, they're not. Read your history books. History does repeat itself, folks. And I'm telling you, it's knocking on our door. Jessi, I think that's the most ignorant thing I've ever heard. This is how far people are willing to go. It's just ridiculous. The mayor of Chicago. Let's go there. I'm telling you, I feel sorry for the city of Chicago. How did you ever vote such a nincompoop in? And I use that sparingly. That would almost be a gift to what I think of this man. He says that Trump is a Nazi and all us MAGAs are Nazi and that we are heading for concentration camps for everyone, that we want everyone to have concentration camps, everybody to put in there from the Democratic Party, that we are, out here scheming on how we can put all of them into concentration camps and alienate people in certain groups. That is so far from the truth. I do not care what color your skin is. I can say that for my state. I don't see it. Now, I can't say that for everyone because you always have a couple of people that, are nincompoops. Let's go with that word again. But being serious, think about that for a minute. Why do they think that about MAGA? We are not that way. I don't care your skin color. I don't care your age. I don't care if you're fat or thin or gay or normal. I do believe in my Bible, though. I am going to tell you that. I know what I believe, and I'm never going to push it onto you. But we have to get along. We all have to get along. And that means being polite to your neighbor, giving a chair to an elderly person, mowing a yard for someone who has a broken leg, taking a child to school that they can't ride a bus, doing whatever needs to be done. Don't turn your head, paying for that cup of coffee for the person behind you. I know it's here, America. We need to start that again. We need to stop labeling each other. Or we're going to turn into a third world country, and I can't say it enough. When I looked around the world today, I didn't want to speak on just one thing. I wanted to push out here and show everyone what a day just looks like in America right now. America. People want to come in to our country. They fight to come into our country, and we're born here, and we are looking at losing everything and not doing a thing. Come on. Stop the violence. Help me to stop the violence. STV. Stop the violence. The last couple of things I've got for you here to end on a different note. So I was saying a minute ago, Tim Waltz made an agreement with President Trump. Tim, I'm glad you did that. I'm scared to death to think of what the country would have been like with you as a vice president. I mean that. You need to get your crap together. I'm not even a Minnesotan, and I could wring your neck. That being said, come on, dude, step up, as the young kids would say. If I were in Minnesota, I'd be telling you to kick rocks. That's right. Learned that off watching my great podcasts about the police. Being serious, though, Tim Waltz is helping the president. Well, guess what? This is how crazy this has gotten. Mayor Jacob Frey, well, he has to have his face in the light, too. He can't let Waltz have all the glory. He's fighting him. So you have the mayor, one of the mayors in Minnesota, fighting the governor fighting the president president arguing with Congress, the Congress fighting the people. Where does it end? It's like a bad screenplay. It's almost a joke. You can't write this stuff. Oh my goodness, everyone. Am I the only one that thinks that we've lost our minds? It's just crazy. On top of poor Tim fighting with the mayor now, he's also fighting with Minnesotans. Go figure. He's now the traitor. He's trying to walk both sides. Guess what, Tim? You can't go both sides. They'll figure you out. That's right. They'll figure you out. You're not hard to figure out, by the way. You're a nincompoop. But anyway, let's move on. You wouldn't believe what he's doing. He's asking for money. Tim Waltz is asking for money. You know why? Because he's being prosecuted for fraud. You heard me right, and listen up. If there's nothing going on with the Democrat Party, tell me this. Why is he in trouble for millions in fraud? He's bad. Is that what you say? Bad? No, he's not bad. He's terrible. He needs to be ousted. And you people in Minnesota, you voted him in. Get him out. If the Somalians are doing it, well, get them out. I'm sorry. You are not United States citizens. I believe in the red, white, and blue. I believe in Minnesota. I believe in you, Americans. Stand up. Fight. These Somalians are fighting for what they know is wrong. Let's face it. He is asking for us to send our taxpayer dollars to him to fund, guess what? His lawyers. From what? From the money that we've already sent to the government, to which he's already stolen. Now, isn't that a circle? He wants us to send him money. He's already taken from us when you work. From the millions of Americans work, because it's federal also. He's been charged with Somalia fraud. Go figure, Somalian fraud. And obstruction from federal law enforcement. Go figure. Because him and Mr. Frey are telling everyone to ramp it up. Ramp it up. Well, sure, they're telling you to ramp it up because guess what? You're the ones on the front line. Hello? He's not. Who's going to get hurt out there? Is it Tim Waltz? No, it's not. Is it Jacob Frey? No, it's not. Guess who it is? It's you, Minnesotans. It's you, the people that go and protest. And a lot of these protesters are not Minnesotans. They are bought and paid for by George Soros and whoever else is behind it, including the European Union and Great Britain. And that's right. I said it, folks. And I told you before, watch PrometheanAction.com. Those older ladies know what they're talking about. They've watched Europe take America or try to take us back down. They've never let us go since 1776, but we're finally breaking away from them. Trump has stood like no other man and fought for this country. So whether you like him or not, he's saving this country. And if you want to save it, you better get into action. I'm calling for action. I'm calling for you. Let's stop the violence. TV. Let's start our movement. Conservatives, liberals, even you Democrats, if you want to join, Christians, whoever you are out there, if you want to join, let's do it together. Let's stop the violence. There's too much. You know, all the stupid things that are going on with Tim Waltz, with Omar, Elon Omar, by the way, the one that got squirted, you know, with the fake scene she set up the other day from a white guy that's supposed to be a conservative, but his children look so left that it's not funny. Coming from CNN, by the way. That's right, CNN. I watched it. CNN says that it's the stuff he got sprayed on her, you know, on Omar. Big and tough, you know. It was apple cider vinegar. That's from CNN. Let's face it, she looked at the guy. She didn't go for medical treatment. She went after him. If someone's going to spray something on you and you don't know what it is, are you going to stand there and let him spray it on you? No. You're going to be taken to the hospital right away, find out what it was, get it off you, get your clothes off, you know, the whole 9 yards. I'd be stripping going down the hall. Yeah, get this stuff off me. Here goes the top, here goes the bra, here goes, I don't care. Get out my way. I'm going to the hospital. Somebody else deal with crazy down there. You know, crazy then runs to her staff. He doesn't even run out. He runs to her staff. Now, if that isn't a skit, guys, I don't know what is. I've never seen something so funny in all my life. But anyway, Omar, Elon Omar, I hope your sweater has been washed. I hear it stunk. Let's fix it. That's what they said in the room. Just repeating. Anyway, moving on. Last thing I want to talk about is the Dems synopsis of this, because we've been on here a while and I didn't intend to go this long today. But the Dems are threatening to shut down the government again over DHS funding. And if you don't know what that is, and I sure hope you do, that's Department of Homeland Security. They want to fund ICE. They don't want to fund, sorry, that was my dryer. I'm doing two things at once here. I apologize. I'm still a mom. They want to shut down the government over funding for ICE and for DHS. It's crazy. We need these guys. We need these people, these young men, women who are out there fighting on the front lines for America. The freedom fighters, thank you. The freedom fighters, believe in you. And the freedom fighters, my group, will never back down if you need us. Stand strong. And I'm talking to ICE and DHS. Now, I'm going to tell you what the Dems are upset about this time, because they had to find something that Trump wasn't doing right? So I'm going to do this really quick. Want all the funding, which is $75 billion for the next 4 years for all the people that we need to straighten this country out. When you look at it, though, I guess it's nothing compared to what's been stolen between California and Minnesota. And we haven't even started in on California. But this is the crazy thing, folks. Whether you agree with that or you don't agree with that, it's not going to happen. They're doing this on purpose. Guess why? Because it's already funded in the big, beautiful bill. How can you fight and argue against something that's already paid for? It's already went through you, through Congress. Hello, Dems. Are you on drugs? What are you doing? Hello. You helped push the big, beautiful bill through. And even if you didn't, you were supposed to have read it. You know, it's a constitutional job for you. You're supposed to read it for whoever you represent, if in fact you really represent anyone. That being said, why would you fight for something that you cannot help? We can't, as Republicans, do anything in the Senate or in the House to do anything about ICE because it's paid for. Let me get a little sign. It's paid for. It's paid for. Can you read? It's paid for. Okay? It's paid for. There's no fight there. Time to readjust. Go back to your war room. Somebody's gone crazy. That's all I must say. Y'all need Fetterman in there. That's what I must say. We need Senator Fetterman. At least he has some sense. I'm sorry. I have to end this with a laugh because sometimes if you don't laugh, you cry. I don't feel like crying today, folks. I'm going to say it one more time and I'm going to end this. We need to get out there, America. As Christians, as Republicans, as liberals, even if you're a Democrat and you want to change, come on over. And most importantly, you elderly people out there, my age, older, we need to get out there. We need to vote. I know this isn't a presidential election coming up, but this election will determine how Trump's 4 years end up. And I'm not doing this for him. I'm doing this for America. He's helped us. We need to help him. We have got to get bills passed through to keep what he's done in place. And if we do not keep Republicans in there, minus the old, what I call the old rhinos in the GOP, they need voted out too. We need to get Republicans in there, or at least a third group. We need to vote. We need to get rid of the Dems. We need to get rid of the old GOPs. And we need together to fight back with our actions and our unification. Dems care about their cause more than we do. I heard that on the Benny show the other day, and it broke my heart. The person speaking with Benny, and I'm sorry I do not remember his name, said that he felt like Americans and Christians don't care about this cause. He said that no matter how bad the Dems are, and I mean the Democrats, no matter what they're doing, they stick together and they do it. And they actually believe in their cause. Well, America, he's kind of right. They rally for it. They do whatever they need to do. And here we sit back, and I realize that we don't want to cause trouble and we don't want to go to jail because the rules are different for us. But let me tell you something. America's not going to be safe or change if we don't get up, stand up, and do the right thing. Play some drums next time for y'all. We need to put our feet on the ground. We need to hold. So if you're interested out there in joining STV, Stop the Violence, let me know. We need feet on the ground. We need people that can type. We need people that can run computers. We need people that can tally. We need it all. If you are capable of giving any time at all, anytime, with whatever you can do, I don't care what it is, help me get this together. Let's start a revolution of positive people, of Americans that care, and of a country that's got itself back together. Let's show them what freedom means, guys. We don't want to lose it. So if you'll join me, I ask you to comment down below, please. Or email me at freedomfighterspodcast@gmail.com. Hit the like button for me if you liked what I've said. Even if you don't and you just enjoyed hearing it, push the subscribe button. It would help me a lot if you joined my cause too. But even if you don't want to join, please hit that button and join us at STV. I want this movement to go forward. We can do it, America. I believe in you. I believe in the freedom fighters. I believe in us. This is Chuck and Joe. And until next time, stay safe, America.